la vuelta y vive. Gotta live, gotta breathe, gotta eat, gotta dar la vuelta y vive.
All right, well, Da La Vuelta y Vive, another edition. We're here today, and it's awesome to be here because we have the opportunity of coming to you via our YouTube channel, Da La Vuelta y Vive, YouTube channel, La Cruzada Radio. Of course, keep in mind, you can listen to us on our app. You can download the app, La Cruzada Radio. And you'll be able to hear all our podcasts. You'll be able to hear music. It's an awesome radio station. Take the opportunity to download it, and you will enjoy it. I can guarantee you. Okay. Football scoreboard is coming up, so we're very excited because the football season is here, and we're going to be able to bring you all the scores. Mr. Nifuni Fa, La Voz del Pueblo. We'll be talking about sports. We'll be talking about the band. We'll be talking about everything that has to do with football. And of course, don't forget El Niño Llorón, Ni Fu Ni Fa, Chacarrón, El Wawi, all the different characters that call us throughout the football season. So again, football season is starting. This is the high school fever that we get every year. So we invite you to Football Scoreboard so that you can be a part of it. Be a part of La Tradición del Valle. It's a legacy. It's something that my dad has done for many, many years and has continued to do many, many years. Now, he has indicated that he wants this to be his last year to do the Football Scoreboard. I doubt it, but we'll just leave that up to God and see what comes with that. So when we talk about tradition, and we think about all the different things that tradition brings to us, okay? Each tradition, there's different levels to that tradition, right? We start with, how can I say, a country tradition, like you can have something that you believe in as a country, 4th of July, Independence, Cinco de Mayo, all these traditions that are part of Dia de los Muertos, all of these are traditions and they're celebrated. They're celebrated. When I use the word celebrated, they're practiced, they're part of people's lives throughout the world, right? So that is something that you look at a country level, right? Then there's state level, and then of course family. Family tradition is probably the one that we all can relate to. We all can look at family tradition and say, you know what, I'm the way that I am because of the way I was raised, because of the different traditions that I have or I had while growing up, okay? And so I'd like to talk a little bit about some of them, okay? So there's one in particular that I think it's always been a part of our family is when you show up to a place and you have to shake everybody's hand. And this is just common for our family, that whenever we show up to a place and there's, it doesn't matter if it's 10 people, 50, it doesn't matter. We're gonna go to each table and we're gonna say, just like a politician, like we're running for something, we go and we say hi to everybody. If we don't know them, we introduce ourselves. That's just tradition. That's what we do. That's part of who we are as a family, right? And so you say, okay, well, you may not look at that as a tradition. Victor, how do you see a tradition? What would you think of tradition?
Something that carries on from generation to generation.
Yeah, something that carries on from generation to generation. We take it and we live it, and it's part of who we are as a family, right? Okay, and tradition, food. That's a really important one. I think food is a big part of family tradition. We were at my Tia Lupe's this past weekend, and they played a game to where we were asking questions about my Tia Lupe, like, okay, so how old is she? When was she born? One of the questions was, what is her favorite dish to cook? And you might think, oh, well, mole or, whatever, some big extravagant dish. Papas con huevo. Her favorite meal to cook. Papas con huevo. And you might think to yourself, how many different types of papas con huevo can you do? There's only 2 ingredients, papas and huevo. Okay? But believe it or not, when it's a tradition, when it's part of that family, when it's part of that person and that person says, you know what, this is the way I cook the papas con huevo, believe me, there's gonna be a different taste to it. Just like the tortillas. Nobody, I'm telling you right now, and then you're gonna freaking say the same thing. Nobody makes the tortillas the way my mom makes them. I mean, I'm sorry, but no. But there's gonna be tons and tons of other people that are gonna say, no, my mom's tortillas are the best. Why? Because that's what you grew up with. That's who you are as a person. You are built by memories. We are built. We have a building block in our being of building blocks of memories. That's the way we're made. We're made by building blocks of memories that come from many different many people around us. Okay, who did you hang around with? Who did you spend most of your time with? That is who makes you today, who you are today. Okay, and that doesn't mean you turn around and you blame somebody, Victor. You can't blame me for the shit that you're doing. Okay, answer that and go out there and get it. I'll continue here. So, but mainly what we're trying to say here is that the building blocks of tradition and who you're made, what made you be the person that you are today. That is what we're trying to say that we are. Okay, so if let me think of another one. So even the way that somebody walks, so somebody laughs, okay? So if you really look around, you say to yourself, okay, how do I sound, man? Man, I'm talking, and all of a sudden I'm like, I hear my dad. I hear my dad, well, wait a minute. Man, I'm sounding more and more like my dad. Okay. So is it because I heard him talking all these years and it just became a part of who I was? I mean, I'm an individual, I'm my own person, but at the same time, just hearing him and getting to the point, that is what we're talking about, is going back to who we are as individuals is actually not individuals at all. We're not individuals at all. We are a group of individuals. It's crazy, man. I'm starting to sound like a little schizo here, because I'm saying, okay, so what you're saying is that I'm made up of 10, 15, 20, 30 different people. Well, that's not the case. What may be the case here is that I'm built the building block of who I am today is a group of people. Victor, I was just saying, I'm starting to sound like a schizophrenic here, talking about all these different people that I can. But at the end of the day, when we look at who we are as a human being, it's going back to everybody put together in our family, like your mom, your dad, your tia, your tío, your primos, the way you grew up, the way you did things, and it turns you into who you are today. Okay, that's why you have a lot of people that, if their dad was a musician, they end up being a musician. If your dad was a DJ, you end up being a DJ, and so on, so on, so on. Okay, except for sometimes, the apple falls too far away from the tree, and then that's when you start, you start getting. Dad's a doctor, everybody else is doctor, so on and so forth. But tradition is something that we should start taking a look at right now. Right now, as soon as you hear this podcast, you turn around, you say, okay, who am I? Who am I? How was I built? What can I do to continue on to share my tradition with my kids? And then at the same time, keep in mind that it's not just the good traditions that you take. También agarra las mañas. También agarra las cosas malas. You get the bad things, and then a la madre. Then you start thinking to yourself, shit, I gotta take that one away. My dad was an alcoholic. No, I'm gonna be an alcoholic. You know, my dad was a drug addict. My mom was a drug addict. No. And then you might think to yourself, chinga, pues they're using excuses. But at the end of the day, it's part of who we are. It's part of who you are as a human being. So I think taking today for what it is, if we go back and we take a look at who we are as human beings and the traditions that have brought us, the characteristics that have brought us to who we are today, are a combination of a lot of people that have made an impact in our lives. A teacher, a special teacher, or a freaking asshole teacher. We had a lot of those. But chinga, you can be, all of a sudden you can say, chinga, I'm sounding like Mr. Benavides a la madre. I hated that freaking teacher. But damn, I'm just the way he is. Something freaking got in there, into your mind, and then you find yourself, I'm like, oh shit, I'm being like freaking Mr. Benavides. You know, so you know, keep in mind, a lot of things that are made up, and then you think to yourself, okay, so what is it about me that is original? That's where the question comes in, is who we are as originals, who you are as an individual, original, okay? And that's where art really begins. You know, we've had people come to this show and they talk about, we've had people that have been in the music business for many, many years, 20 years. We had Gary Hobbs here, over 40-something years in the music business. And we talked about his past. But because I feel that that's important. It's important to talk about a person's past to see where they are, who they are today. And what was individual about Gary Hobbs, or what was individual about Ramiro, right? Ramon. What was individual about Ramon Lucio? What was unique about Hugo de la Cruz? What was unique about Victor Hugo de la Cruz? Okay, and that's where, you know, if you want to know who you are as a person, then start thinking about that. Who am I as an individual? Okay, who am I as that person that is gonna make a change? Who I am first, and what are you gonna do to make a change in your surroundings, the people that you have around yourself, the people that you love, and the people that see you, and what type of example you're gonna be for them. Take a look at yourself. Take a look at who you are, what your characteristics are. It's important. You know, it's like we talked about, you know, death and being prepared. Well, shit, this is living and being prepared, okay? Living and being prepared, you gotta know who you are, man. You're not a freaking alcoholic. You're not a drug addict. You're not a freaking a person that's on depression. You're not a person that is lost. You are a human being that has so many characteristics that you can pick and choose which ones you want. Take the opportunity to look at yourself and say, you know what? I want to be that. I want to be great. I want to be better. I want to be the best. And that's how you're going to make a difference. Da la vuelta y vive. Another edition. Thank you so much. God bless you. We'll see you next time.